it's me, your winter spiced femboy, and today is the third day of the 4 days of Borkmas. So it is another hopefully fun and entertaining Christmassy kind of video from little old me. So today, this video is a top 10 list, well technically top 8, because I was only able to find 8 from movies that I've seen personally. And of course, if you looked at the title or the thumbnail or whatever, you'll know that this is about the hottest Santas in Christmas movies. Obviously there's a lot of Santas out there in movies, and I have not seen all of them, even though I love Christmas. So the ones on this list are from movies I've seen myself. So if your favorite is not on this list, I am so sorry. Maybe I could do a part 2 next year. Who knows? So originally I was going to do this all live action, but then I wouldn't have had as many options. It would have been even less than 8, and that would be no bueno. So I am totally going to just do it like that, and hopefully you like it. Now, this is of course my own little dumb opinion, and if you know the type of guys I like, you probably can guess who the number 1 is gonna be. It's, I think, most people's number 1 for hottest Santa. So, but this very naughty video is, I think it's gonna be fun. I've never done anything like this before. So hopefully my little dumb opinion doesn't ruin your Christmas, because that would be very yucky. Okay, so number 8 on the hottest, the sexiest Santas on the silver screens is Santa Claus from Elf. Now, a lot of Santas, I feel like, are in a pretty good territory where they become almost Delphy. And even though Santa, I think, is typically portrayed as a little older than a Delph, some, especially a lot of the ones more recently, they aren't as old enough to become like a Gilf, if that makes sense. Santa from Elf, though, is absolutely a Gilf at best. He's a little too old for me personally. So even though there's a lot of older Santas on this list, unfortunately, the Santa from Elf is going to have to be at the bottom of the list, even though I do think he makes a very good Santa. He's also just a bit grumpy, and that's not really, like, my bag. So number 7 is the Santa Claus from Polar Express. He is, I don't think, as old as the Santa from Elf, and is the first of the not live action Santas that's on this list, but he doesn't really have, I think, the same charisma that other Santas on this list have, which is disappointing because he is played by Tom Hanks, which you would think would make him incredibly charismatic. Like, to be honest, I think the train conductor is a lot sexier than this Santa is. But unfortunately, this is not a list for train conductors. It is a list for Santas. And so unfortunately, he is number 7, pretty bottom on the list, unfortunately. So the 6th on the list is Santa Claus, of course, from Nightmare Before Christmas. This Santa is very different. He's obviously way, way more cartoonized and more of a caricature. But I think he is more charming than the last 2. And even though he definitely is old enough to be more on Gilf territory, I still do like him a lot. He is a little grumpy. But to be fair, due to what happens in the movie, that's completely understandable. And I do like my guys a little thick. And I feel like out of all of the Santas on this list, he is absolutely the thickest. Okay, so number 5 is the first that technically isn't called Santa Claus. It is Scott Calvin from The Santa Claus, 1 through 3. He will be higher on the list, as I do think he's probably one of the more charming and younger Santa Clauses. But there is a very big reason why I am not putting him that high on the list, is because he looks really similar to my dad. My dad is basically He looks a lot more like Tim Allen does nowadays, but he looks too close to my dad for me to put him really that high up, because even though I like daddies, I definitely don't like it like that. So unfortunately, he will not go any higher than about mid-tier on my list. And I thought while I was here, I would also just really quickly mention the two other like Santa Clauses in the Santa Claus, which the first one was Toy Santa, which basically is just like a fun time version of Santa Claus. And then there is the Frost Claus, where Jack Frost becomes Santa Claus. And while I do think that it's better than Toy Santa and probably has a better chance than the normal Santa Claus because he doesn't look like my father, he still isn't honestly all that high, because I do think he looks better in his normal frosty, like skinny look. So that's what I would say. So we have reached the top 3. Number 3 is Fred Claus. Yes, Fred Claus. That's what the movie's called. I put Fred Claus on the list, but I'm not talking about Fred Claus like the character from Fred Claus. I'm talking about the Santa from Santa Claus. Sorry, I got a little confused. I think that the Santa from Santa Claus is a cutie, and I think he is chubby enough to be a nice size for me. And I think he is very cute and charming, although he is a little bit too old for me. He's not bordering on GILF. Like, I would say he's like definitely a middle-aged Santa, almost getting old. So that being said, I definitely don't. Well, the fact that he's number 3 proves that I don't dislike him too much. So that's where I would put Santa from Fred Claus on the list. All right, so next is Klaus from the movie Klaus. So this is a different type of Santa. That being said, he is such a daddy. Like, he's got, well, definitely, at least he's got a bear, because he's definitely got like the big, rough, protective thing, which I think is, it's super duper nice. Honestly, I was really deciding between whether to make him or the number 1 choice, number 1, and I think it might change depending on my mood. But I definitely think Klaus is very high on the list because, oh my gosh, he is definitely doing it for me, I think. But not enough to be number 1 at the moment, which, of course, for those who are wondering, number 1 is Santa Claus from the Christmas Chronicles. So the one played by Kurt Russell. It's very, of course, I had to put him as number 1, because not only does he have big daddy energy, and he's very dominant, but oh my gosh, it's like they knew that they were making a sexier Santa Claus when they made Christmas Chronicles. And Kurt Russell, I think, absolutely just did amazing at it. He has major DILF energy, and he has one of my favorite like Santa outfits, I think, in a movie too. So absolutely, he's like the perfect balance between older but not too old. I feel like some of the others on this list maybe didn't get as good. So unsurprisingly, as I've seen him on the top of a lot of other lists too, Kurt Russell's Santa Claus from the Christmas Chronicles is, to me, the hottest, most sexiest, most naughtiest Santa Claus out of all of the movies on this list. So yeah, that's kind of it. I hope you enjoyed, and that the list wasn't like too weird, or I hope you, at least even if you don't agree with my choices, they respect it. After all, it's Christmas. We should all be kind and sweet to each other if we can. So yeah, definitely, I am happy I did it. I was really leaning towards not, considering the fact that I have to do 3 Christmas videos this week, because I was out of state for like half of the month, and also I'm a lazy boy, and also busy with work, so that's 3 things. So I definitely hope you like it, and the last video is going to be another little Let's Play, kind of like The Sims, but a little different, because I'm going to have a guest playing with me, so I'm really excited about that. But anyway, I love you. I love you, and I would love you too. Okay, bye!